Most people believe they are missing something: talent, luck, confidence, the right time. But the truth is quieter and harder to accept. They are not missing ability. They are avoiding discomfort. In a small apartment building on the 4th floor lived a man named Noah. From the outside, his life looked fine. He had ideas. He had dreams. He had plans he talked about with excitement. But every plan lived only in his words. Every morning, his alarm rang. Every morning, he reached out and silenced it. 5 more minutes, he whispered. Those 5 minutes always turned into an hour. Noah told himself he worked better at night, that he needed the perfect mood, that he just wasn't ready yet. Ready for what? He never clearly defined. He watched videos of people who were doing what he wanted to do, learning what he wanted to learn, becoming what he dreamed of becoming. He admired them, saved their posts, promised himself he would start soon. But when the moment came to sit, to focus, to struggle, to feel confused, to feel slow, to feel imperfect, he stopped. Not because he couldn't do it, but because it felt uncomfortable. And Noah, like many others, had quietly built his life around avoiding that feeling. He didn't know it yet, but one ordinary morning, something small would happen. And it would make him realize that the problem was never his talent. It was what he kept running from. Noah's days followed the same soft pattern. Not painful, not chaotic, just comfortable. He woke up, checked his phone, scrolled for a while, watched others build, create, improve. He told himself he was learning. But deep down, he knew he was watching, not doing. Whenever he tried to start something serious, something inside him tightened. Opening a blank page felt heavy. Practicing a new skill felt awkward. Trying and not being good at it immediately felt embarrassing. So he found gentle excuses. I'm tired today. I'll start when I feel more motivated. Let me watch one more video first. The strange part was, he truly believed these excuses. They sounded reasonable, kind, understanding. But what they were really doing was protecting him from one thing: the feeling of being bad at something before becoming good. One evening, Noah sat at his desk and finally opened the project he had been talking about for months. The screen was empty. The silence in the room felt loud. He typed a few words, then erased them. Tried again. Erased again. His chest felt tight. Not fear, not stress, discomfort. The discomfort of not knowing, of not being in control, of not being instantly impressive. His mind immediately offered an escape. Let's do this tomorrow, when we're fresh. He closed the laptop. Relief washed over him. But it was the kind of relief that comes from running away. That night, as he lay in bed, he felt something new. Not guilt, a quiet disappointment in himself. He realized he had felt this many times before, but had never named it. It was the feeling of choosing comfort over growth. And the more he thought about it, the clearer something became. Every person he admired had once sat in front of a blank page, had once felt confused, had once been slow, clumsy, uncertain. They didn't become skilled because they were fearless. They became skilled because they stayed in that uncomfortable place longer than he ever had. Noah turned on his side and stared at the wall. For the first time, he asked himself a hard question. What if I'm not stuck because I lack talent, but because I keep leaving the moment when learning actually begins? The question didn't scare him. It unsettled him, because it meant the door he was waiting for had always been open. He just didn't like what was on the other side. The next day, Noah tried something different. Not big, not dramatic, just different. He sat at his desk again and opened the same project. The blank screen stared back at him, like before. The same tight feeling rose in his chest, the same urge to escape. But this time, he didn't close it. He didn't wait for confidence. He didn't wait for inspiration. He stayed. The first few minutes felt slow and awkward. His thoughts came out messy. Nothing sounded right. Every part of him wanted to stop and say, "This is not good enough." But he remembered the question from the night before. What if this discomfort is not a sign to quit, but a sign that I'm finally in the right place? So he kept going. He wrote badly. He practiced clumsily. He made mistakes that made him cringe. And yet, something strange happened. The discomfort didn't grow. It softened. Not because the work became easy, but because he stopped fighting the feeling of being a beginner. Minutes turned into an hour. For the first time in months, he didn't check his phone, didn't look for distraction, didn't escape into comfort. When he finally leaned back, tired but calm, he realized something quietly powerful. Nothing magical had happened. He wasn't suddenly great, but he had crossed a line. The line where most people turn back. The line where the mind says, "This feels uncomfortable, so it must be wrong." And he had stayed. That night, as he walked outside, he noticed how the air felt cooler, clearer. Not because the world had changed, but because he had. He understood now that talent doesn't appear first. Tolerance for discomfort does. And every time he had avoided that feeling in the past, he hadn't been protecting himself. He had been delaying himself. For the first time, Noah wasn't waiting to feel ready. He was letting himself feel uncomfortable. And that was where real growth had been hiding all along. From that day on, Noah stopped asking himself, "Do I feel ready?" and started asking, "Can I stay here even if I don't?" Some days were still hard. He still felt slow, still felt unsure, still had moments where his work looked ugly and unfinished. But now he recognized that feeling, not as a warning, as a doorway. Every time discomfort appeared, he knew he was close to something important, close to learning, close to improving, close to becoming. He began to notice a pattern. On days he avoided discomfort, his life stayed quiet and unchanged. On days he faced it, even for a short time, something inside him grew stronger. Not his skills first, his patience, not his confidence first. His courage to look bad before looking good. Weeks passed. Small progress started to show. Not the kind others would praise yet. The kind only he could feel. The kind that whispers, "You're not the same person who used to run." One evening, he looked back at his old notes, his old plans, his old excuses, and he smiled gently. Not with regret, with understanding. He finally saw the truth. He was never short of talent. He was short of willingness to sit in the uncomfortable silence of learning. He had been waiting to feel capable, when capability is built only by staying when it's uncomfortable. And that became his quiet rule. Whenever it feels awkward, whenever it feels slow, whenever it feels uncertain, stay. Because that feeling is not your weakness. It's the sound of your potential waking up.